Our next presenter is going to be talking, or presenters actually, about the My School Data portal redesign. We have Rod Bernowsky and Cheryl Twitchell. Rod has served as a CEPI manager of the data, or as the data support manager for CEPI. He is responsible for designing, building, and maintaining the My School Data website. We are very fortunate because both Rob and Cheryl are very familiar faces to our conference. They have kept us up to date on all the changes, and it's really exciting because our new site is up and running, and they'll be able to show a lot of the new features and new design. Rod actually has been in the technical field for 25 years. He's worked with a number of different companies. He's worked as an accountant for the federal government and earned a bachelor's degree in accounting and computer information systems. He has a master's degree in business intelligence and worked as a Six Sigma Black for EDS. Cheryl Twitchell is a senior department analyst for CEPI. She works on the My School Data portal team as well, and she focuses on assessment and accountability reports, district and school information, and the variety of dashboards that are available. She also has been on CEPI's data collections team, where she's been directly involved in the collection of student, staffing, school safety, and entity data. She's worked on a number of data collection projects. She has a BS in Business Administration from Central Michigan University. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rod and Cheryl.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that. Let me just get my screen sharing here. And you can hear me good, right? You can hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, let me see if I can start the show. Okay. All right. First of all, thank you, Kathy, and thank you, MERA board, for giving us this time to come in and show you the website. You're correct, Kathy. We were just able to launch the site in late October. I had our adventures with that, but ever since we got it up, it's been going smoothly, and we've been receiving some good feedback on the site. Good feedback, good improvements, and some good suggestions as well. So I'm going to walk through the presentation. Cheryl is my assistant. She's going to, for today, she's usually doing these presentations herself, but I'm going to go ahead and take you through this, and she is manning the chat room, and she'll take any questions that you send her, and she will do her best to answer those. And if we can't get them answered, we'll get them answered to you quickly once we return to the office. Okay, so Kathy gave us a very good introductions. My name's Rod Bernowsky. And like I said, I'm partnering with Cheryl, so I'm not going to go through that again. I want to make sure that I get a chance to show you everything that we got. So this is the My School Data redesign, the public-facing education data portal. And I'm going to give you a tour on this over the next half hour. Here's what I'm going to try and hit. I'll just give you a real quick introduction. I want to jump into the site. This is going to be a demo. This is not going to be a PowerPoint presentation. I'm just going to jump into the site and walk you around and show you some of those good features that we've added. Things like new landing pages, a new style of report, an education map. I want you to see that. That's a map of Michigan that you can interact with. We have a new compare functionality, some new navigation and support. I'll probably touch on those very quickly because with only half an hour, I want to make sure that you see the new stuff. And then a couple of new data stories. It's something that CEPI is gravitating towards as far as doing data presentation. And then the very last thing I'll show you is some connections or connections functionality. That's a little bit new for us as well. And then I'll show you where you can send any questions. Really quickly, I want you to know that as we were going through the requirements and design of the site, we interviewed many people, many groups of people, teachers, parents, administrators, principals, and media and others to make sure that the site fulfilled as many of those needs that we could identify as possible. We did what we called a heuristic audit of the old site to make sure that we knew what the pain points were, on the old site that we could eliminate, but also the strengths that we could find on the new site. That took us quite a while to do as well. We went through it very thoroughly, page by page, making sure that we knew all the strengths and the weaknesses of the new of the old site to make sure that we brought that into the new. And then we've reviewed all the comments and suggestions that we received over the years, making sure that we were listening to our customers closely when we did this. This slide shows you some of the PowerPoint or the pain points, excuse me, that we tried to solve with this redesign. Things like navigation, where do I go? Too many clicks to get to the data. These are the things that we heard as we were interviewing and we were watching our users use the site. We needed to bulk up our comparison tool and our search feature. Taxonomy was a big thing. Our site, when we tested the site, it read at a post-secondary level. We really wanted to bring that language down in the site. We're still working on that to make sure that anybody who used the site, it was readable for them, and we're maybe using too technical terms or too high level of industry terms in the site. We wanted to bring that down a bit. We worked on the mobile friendliness of it and the data, the delivery format. Those data stories that I had just mentioned are something to observe as we're walking through. I show you these pain points because I refer back to them as I'm going through this demo to tell you, here's what we did and this is what we were trying to solve. Okay, so here's the demonstration slide. I am going to leave the PowerPoint, and I am now going to go over to my school data. So here's the new site. I was going to bring up the old site and then compare it, and then you could see it compared to the new site. I'll bring up the old site in a second. But right off the bat, you can see it's a very new look for the site. If you're familiar with the site, if you're not, if this is your first time seeing the site, that's even better. I'm glad I'm getting a chance to introduce you to the site. As we look at the site as is, as its new format is concerned, we see a lot of different things, such as at the very top of the screen, we've got 3 navigation bars now, where we only had 1. I'll walk through these very quickly. What we were trying to accomplish here with these. At the very top, you've got a button called Connections. I'll come back to that one, like I said, in my agenda. We'll talk about connections. We'll also talk about the education map. We also got several support features that we made better, our help and support and our professional development toolkit. I probably will not get to those today. But one thing I did want to get to over here is the sign-on. What's new with the site is that we went from our own homegrown security model to using My Login for authentication. My Login is the state single sign-on solution. That was quite a chore. Going over to My Login, we had our ups and downs with that. And I wanted to make sure that at this point in the presentation, I wanted to recognize our ISD partners, Macomb and Kalamazoo and Shiawassee, and in particular, Christy Martin. I'm going to say these names: Christy Martin, Dr. Jennifer Parker, Tim Davis, and our host, Kathy Miller, for helping us make that transition much more smooth. I won't get into the details too much, but I want to thank them particularly for helping us with that, and it's really gone a heck of a lot smoother than it possibly could have. Under that is a navigation bar that should look familiar. As we were working through the requirements and the design of this, we heard our customers and our users say that the old navigation, they could work with it. It was a strong navigation bar to get to the reports. So we tried to keep that intact as much as possible. And we added a few things too. So if you look at that navigation bar, you'll see the most popular reports that we have. That's per our web analytics. Things that are most recently updated. I like this one because it lets people come in here and say, oh, hey, what was just updated? Hey, look at this list. Yeah, these reports were most recently updated, and things that were, I don't want to do that. And then upcoming reports that are about to be updated as well. I don't want to spend too much time here, but I do want to roll down, and I want you to see this new this new home page, because we've got a lot of things to help with the navigation. Remember when I was looking at those pain points, where do I go? Well, I can go to reports that are trending now, or I can go to our feature dashboards. We've got the parent dashboard. That's our most popular report, but there's some other good ones. This financial transparency dashboard doesn't get the traffic I think it deserves, to be honest with you. So we got it up on the front page, and then the connections here. I'll come back to connections a little bit later. But we also said it takes so many clicks to get to data on our site, the old site. So we tried to fix that. We put data snapshots of Michigan right on the front page. Hey, someone coming in can see what student enrollment is for the state of Michigan, what early childhood participation is and counts, and some other good metrics up front. There's English learners. There's our teacher count. That's a big one. K through 12 attendance rates. All of these are hot button issues. College enrollment as well. So you can scroll through that, and those actually act as links too. You can go to the reports if you click on them, and then you can explore that data a bit more. And then as I scroll down, I'll get back to these education focus areas, but I just kind of want you to see that the whole front page is kind of geared towards getting people to their data a lot quicker, maybe with a bit more detail than we had in the first in the original site. Over here, something that occurred to us while we were doing our interviews is that our customers all had different needs. Asking them the same question resulted in multiple different answers. So we thought that maybe, a particular landing page for them by role might help out. So the media asked us, we asked questions of the media, and the first things that they wanted to see were things like the dashboards. And they had top questions that they wanted answered right away. So we actually took those questions and made them into links and where to go on the site. And they wanted to see the most updated and most trending reports. That's a theme throughout the site. What just got updated, guys? Oh, here it is. Here's the list of things that got updated. And then other things that they found important: graduation, attendance, things like that. Let's see, what else can I show you on this? I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna show you another one too. Yeah, I also have a persona page for educators as well. And as I'm talking to you here, I'm actually going to be moving because I can see my computer is actually running out of its battery here. So excuse me, I didn't really plan for that. But okay, I'm plugged in now. Okay, and I'm going to keep moving on here. So because after that, I wanted to show you our reports. So let me jump into a report because we changed the format of our reports as well. Let me pull up one student enrollment counts and reports. So if you're familiar with the old site, you'll recall that when you're putting in your criteria in your settings, you had one page where you did that and another page where you saw the chart and the table. Now we've put those on the same page where you can change the criteria and then you can see the report below. And instead of having to put criteria to get any data on the screen, we automatically pull up the state level data as well. So if you wanted to change something, like you wanted to see a different school year or something like that, you click that and then you click update report. The report would close up and then would generate with the new data. So this is the number for the year before. And you can also see, you can still see the trending of the data as well. So that's the report. Almost all of our reports now are in this format. And let me just make sure that I point out, if you want to get back to the criteria, you click on this bar that says location, reports, and settings. Some other new features on the site. I'm going to go back to the home page. I want you to see the education map. And here you go. Now, let me give you a little bit of a demo too. And because we don't quite have demo data set up on the map, I'm just going to go ahead and pick the district that I live in. I'm going to pick DeWitt so that you can see the interaction with the map. You get a drop down. If you click, I just type in the word DeWitt. I'll get anything that has the word DeWitt in it. And I will go ahead and click on the district, and then we'll see a map react to that. And what it does here is it highlights the outline of the district and gives you any schools with a pinpoint in it that is near or inside the district. And I'll close up this map a little bit because I want you to see as you close that, more schools come into view on in the viewing area. Also, what I want you to see is that if you scroll down, you can actually see a little bit of information on the schools or the districts that appear within the map. So you can see all the schools and the districts there. And there's more of them. You just have to click the page right here. But I'm not going to go into that right now. It's also accompanied by some quick facts. So you can see the student counts, economically disadvantaged students with disabilities. And if there's a pupil teacher ratio, you can see that as well. If I click on one of the school pins, you can also see the fast facts for the high school. There's DeWitt High School. And if you click on DeWitt High School in the title, I just clicked on that, you get what we call an overview page for the school. That'll give you some logistical data. It'll give you some links to the parent dashboard and school services and offerings. And it also pulls in charts and graphs that represent that school. So student count, that's by race, ethnicity, graduation rates, economically disadvantaged. These are all interactive charts as well. If I wanted to see an overview of the ISD or for Clinton County, I just go ahead and click there. I'd see this, and what you get here is that logistical data as well. But you'd also see a list of all the districts within that ISD and some more information, a little bit more detailed information on this at this level, at the ISD level. You get the student counts, graduation rates, post-secondary enrollments if they're available. All of this data, if it's available, you get a readout of that, and then the schools underneath. And then the last one I wanted to show you was the district level. The district level view as well. So again, you're going to get the logistical data, and then the information will start coming in below that. I'll just kind of scroll down there. You'll see an information bar there, and then academic performance, and then some other data that is still coming in that centers around population, economically disadvantaged, graduation rates, again, college readiness, so on and so forth. Takes just a little bit of time to come in, but it's pretty worthwhile. So all of this available through that information map, or that that education map, and a little bit of exploration there as well. Another new tool I wanted to show you is the compare tool. And I'll go over here to this. Some of the biggest requests that have always been, ever since I've been on this website, has been, can I compare more than one? Can I compare my school or my district? Really, it was at the district level. Can I compare my district to more than one school at a time, which is what the functionality was before in the old site. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a comparison here, but I am going to hold on one second, because I want to be consistent and use the district that I have been using. I should have just left that on. I'm going to just leave that on. Sorry, guys. Now you have a compare tool that centers up to 20 entities, districts, or schools, or ISDs and compares them all at once. So you can see here what I did was I picked a whole district or ISD, and in came all of the schools and the districts underneath that. You can see that this is student count. I could switch this off and we can look at something a little bit different, maybe at attendance rates. Let's take a look at that. So take a look at that and I can see the attendance rates as well. Pick different years. And we also have different subgroups. I'll hit the trend bar here and we'll take a look. But with this many schools and districts right now, it's probably going to be a little bit crowded towards the top. I wanted to eliminate a few of those so you can see that. You can do a trend with 20 entities on it, a trend chart. I don't recommend it. I'd say if you're going to do a trend chart, you leave maybe 4 or 5 on there, but the ability to do as many as you want, up to 20, is there as well. Now that's one metric at a time. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see a table that's associated with that chart. So you can see across the years, and then you can see across the top, you can see all the schools that you're looking at. But if you scroll down a bit, you can also see all of the metrics that we have all at once. So you can see attendance, attendance rates, you can see student enrollment across all the different schools. You could scroll to the right or to the left there. And this is also suppressed data here as well. You can see some of the metrics that are associated with the parent dashboard. We're going to be extending that so we get all the parent dashboard metrics in there. And there's some staffing counts as well. Got a lot of enhancements to do beyond what we've already done to the site, but it's a work in progress, but we think we've got it in a pretty good state right now. There's one more thing I wanted to make sure that I got to during my half hour here, and that is what we call in the office data stories, but on the site we call them education focus areas. This is a new display technique that we're trying out, and it seems to be getting some very good feedback. It's more of a narrative type of display for any particular type of very hot subject. College opportunities for high school students, especially with the growing price of college these days, is a very hot topic, not just in Michigan, but just everywhere. We have very good programs to allow students to gain credits while they're in high school. So the story tells you a little bit about that, a little bit about how many people are taking advantage of it, how and where it is offered. As I scroll down through here, I won't stop too much because I know I'm running out of time here, but you can see upward trends, not superly upward yet, but upward is upward. It looks good as far as over the years, the participation by students and by districts. Over here, we've got the two charts side by side. The advantages of enrollment in post-secondary if you're a student that participated in early childhood, or not early childhood, I keep saying early childhood, I hope I don't, early middle college dual enrollment. Yeah, as we're going through here, early middle college, if you participate in those programs, you're more than likely, almost double more than likely to graduate after 4 years from a post-secondary institution. That's great. So if you look at this chart and you point at it, you'll see dual enrollment, early middle college, 42% if you participated in it, 21% if you did not. That's a big gap actually, right there. I'm going to keep scrolling down. Locations of access across the state, and then a little bit of information here about national programs by state. as well. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, you're going to see Michigan colleges and universities that served early middle college and dual enrollment students, and by counts. Now, early middle college and dual enrollment are separate programs. So in a story such as this, we've got pages for each one. We've broken our early middle college out, and you'll see a lot of the same metrics there for each one, and then dual enrollment. We also tried to link people to good information over on michigan.gov as well. And that's right in the story too. And that's that link that I just clicked right here. Okay, I am going to stop my tour there. Just mention that there's other things here like connections. This is where we tried to highlight other data websites, educational data websites across the state. We're not the only ones. We've got good data. We're not the only ones that have good data. We want to be a part of a community here. So My School Data has a place to advertise those. If you have a site that you'd like a link to, that you can advertise on My School Data, I'm more than happy to add it to our connections functionality here. Please just go ahead and send it on over. Okay. And I think I'm going to stop my tour there, Kathy. And if there was any questions in the chat box, I'll try and answer them really quickly.
There was one that showed up that said they saw a link for peers, and they wondered if those are the same peer schools that are in the accountability system.
That would be, let's see. I'm going to say yes. We use the same pool of peers as the accountability system. Now across the site right now with peers, we have district level peer functionality, and we have school level peer functionality. So accountability would be associated more with the districts. The peer level is probably school, or the accountability is more probably, I'm thinking school level over on the parent dashboard. But yeah, the answer to that is yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Do we have any other questions that have come in?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Now.
Okay, this is Emily McAvoy. So does that mean then the parent dashboard peer group has changed? Because in the past, in the old site, the parent dashboard peer group was different than the accountability peer group.
No, nothing on the parent dashboard has changed. It is the same. I'm probably getting a little bit confused by the separation of the two, the accountability peers. If we're talking about the accountability functionality on the site separate from the parent dashboard, that's at the district level. So that would not affect the parent dashboard, which is only school level.
So maybe what we can do, I know Cheryl had put in the chat that she could take a look at that. Maybe we can get some clarity about where the peers are on which part of the site, because I know what Emily's saying is there are a couple different peer groups. So if Cheryl could send that to us when we find out, we'll go ahead and pass that on. Lots of people thanking you, Rod, for
Great. Thank you. Thank MERA. They participated early in the requirements and design of the site. Very much appreciated that time that we had to come in and show you some wireframes and things like that.
Yeah, and I know over the summer there was a lot of work done. Last spring, as Rod said, the MERA board had an opportunity to provide some official feedback back and forth.
Yes.
As a collaborative work. So I know the MERA board was very appreciative of having the opportunity to provide some insight and feedback to you.
Great. Always wonderful.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Hey, Kathy,
Yep.
there's another question there from another Kathy about where some of the links for suggestions, questions, and issues, is that in the redesigned site as well?
Yeah. over on the help desk or the help site where you can contact us, if I heard you right. There's a place where you can send questions, feedback, anything like that. Did I get the question right?
I think so, but I can let Kathy Berry.
Yeah, Kathy Berry said thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yes, that's under support, and then contact us.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Hey, well, thank you so much for sharing the new site. It's very exciting to see some of the new features.
Yeah.
How it works, and I'm sure we'll all appreciate it. And the more we get into it, the more we're going to appreciate, I think, some of the changes. The other piece that I want to mention before we leave the My School Data topic is that the My School Data and the MyKIP group has worked very closely to integrate those two systems. So when you get into MyKIP, you're actually going to be reaching in and getting your My School Data reports through the MyKIP portal and have some pre-done charts and graphs based on your topic. So I'm very appreciative, and I would like to thank Rod and his team for being willing to work so closely with Terry Nugent and Ben and Tom Johnson's team to get that interaction happening. It's going to be wonderful for our schools. I think it's also going to help follow up with some of our energy that Dr. Young was talking about earlier with having that state data. You know, it's going to be hooked to the hub, so we will have some of the regional data, and we can actually spend our time with some of the classroom level data, and we can put that all together in MyKIP to take a look. So thank you for doing that, Rod, because I know that was an additional undertaking over and above redesigning the site.
Thanks, Kathy. We're happy to do it. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we'll move on to our next topic.